In today's recipe I decided to combine pumpkin cheesecake and a cake together in one recipe. Why? Because you get a moist pumpkin cake, a creamy cheesecake and delicious frosting all in one bite. The flavors and textures complement each other perfectly, and because it takes less than 30 minutes of prep time. There are two main parts to this dessert, the pumpkin cake and the cheesecake. Let's make the cake part first. For this simple batter, I start by mixing together 125 grams ground oats or oat flour, 1 tablespoon cornstarch, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon pumpkin spice, which is a blend of cinnamon, cloves, ginger and nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. Then I whisk together 2 large eggs, 60 ml maple syrup or agave, 65 grams unsweetened applesauce, you can use either homemade or store-bought applesauce, and 250 grams pumpkin puree made from fresh pumpkin or canned pumpkin puree without any added sugar. If your pumpkin puree is too wet because the water content can differ from one pumpkin to another, just cook it in a non-stick pan over medium heat for a few minutes to dry out some excess moisture, because watery pumpkin puree can affect the texture and consistency of your recipe. Let's set it aside and it's time to prepare the cheesecake filling. And just like the pumpkin cake, it's lower in sugar and made with simple wholesome ingredients. I've got 250 grams homemade ricotta cheese, 250 grams full-fat Greek yogurt, 60 ml maple syrup or agave for that natural sweetness, and 2 teaspoons vanilla to kick up the flavor. Once the ricotta and Greek yogurt have blended into a nice creamy mixture, that's when I add 2 large eggs one at a time, followed by 1 tablespoon oat flour at the very end of mixing. Keep in mind that we don't want to add too much air to the cheesecake filling, so be sure to mix only until everything comes together. Once you got both components ready, it's time to put together this simple dessert. First, spoon about 1½ cups of this cake batter into the bottom of 9-inch springform pan. You can either line with parchment paper or grease with butter. This will be like the foundation that will give the structure to the cake. After that, just randomly spoon the rest of the pumpkin cake batter and the cheesecake filling onto the top. You can add a few spoonfuls of cheesecake, then follow with dollops of cake batter and simply repeat until both are used up. No need to swirl them together, and it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. It's ready to be baked, so I put it in the oven at 325 F or 160 C for about 60 minutes. I turn the heat down a bit to avoid browning the cheesecake too fast. I want to keep things easier, so I'm going to skip the water bath. After 1 hour, the cheesecake and the cake will be baked. You want the outer parts of the cheesecake to be firm while keeping the center creamy. These cracks you see are a result of spooning my cake batter on top, but we're all about healthy desserts here, so let's not worry about how they look. After it cools down to room temperature, pop it in the fridge for at least 4 hours. And if you like to, then you can add this healthier frosting, which is made from just 2 simple ingredients. All you need is 250 grams of strained Greek yogurt and 1 tablespoon of honey. Simply mix them up, spread a thin layer over the cake and let it firm up for another hour. Of course, if you can't wait, you can dig in right away. Anyway, I believe this is one of the best pumpkin desserts I've ever made. With every bite of this delightful dessert, you'll taste the combo of a light cheesecake and a super moist, wonderfully spiced pumpkin cake. And the low sugar Greek yogurt frosting takes it to the next level. It stays moist for days. To be honest, it gets even better with time as the flavors melt together. So I encourage you to give this recipe a try and see for yourself. And if you're looking for more healthy and nutritious fall desserts you can make for a family, check out my easy fall desserts playlist here and enjoy a variety of seasonal recipes. They're both delicious and good for you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in another video. Stay healthy, stay happy.